finally back in my kitchen and I have got some super juicy recipes for you this week. I've got some one pot, one pan ideas for you, perfect for your midweek. Each of the recipes are quite different. They all have their own little individual touch, but they are all nourishing, balanced, satisfying and absolutely delicious. I've got a steak and bean salad, a wild garlic creamy salmon pasta, and a prawn and quinoa stir fry, one of my classic recipes. For more of my recipes, more ideas, more inspiration, you can head over to my website at www.tishwonders.co.uk and check out all of my ebooks over there. The first dish that we're cooking up is actually something that I found over on TikTok. It's this steak and bean salad. There is nothing that I love more than pairing high quality animal protein with a fantastic plant-based protein. I tried this recipe last week and it made for the easiest post-workout lunch. I saved the recipe to this app. I am obsessed. This is called Resemi. You know, there are just some apps that you cannot be without once you start using. This is definitely one of those apps for me. So the app is really easy to use. You go to share on the recipe you want to save. You'll see the Resemi app and click on that. You then choose which specific cookbook you want to save the recipe to. The full recipe will then be saved. There's also an option to get the nutritional breakdown information too. You can save recipes from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and they are all going to be organized in one place. If you'd like to try out a more efficient way in saving all of these Instagram and TikTok recipes, I would highly recommend the Resemi app. You can click the link in my description. Ingredients that we will need for this steak and bean salad include, of course, some steak. I'm using some flat iron steak. The recipe calls for flank steak, but I guess you could just work with whatever steak you have, whatever steak is available. Lots and lots of fresh herbs, so a combination of parsley and coriander, some jarred roasted red peppers. Of course, if you'd prefer, you can grab some fresh red peppers and put them to roast. Some chickpeas. I'm using my favorite chickpeas ever from Bold and Bean, and some cannellini beans also. So some mozzarella. The recipe calls for these mini mozzarella bites, so I just grabbed some of those. So for the dressing, we'll need ingredients including some extra virgin olive oil, some red wine vinegar, some red pepper flakes, garlic, lemon juice. So for the steak seasoning, I'm going to use this Deep South Cajun rub, which is from Waitrose. You could use any seasoning that you enjoy for steak. This is the type of recipe that essentially you're just assembling everything together. So we're going to start off by opening up our jar of roasted red peppers. I just like to kind of cut mine into strips and then cut them the other way. So grabbing all of those fresh herbs, so the fresh coriander and the fresh parsley, we are going to finely as possible chop these herbs. The finer that they're chopped, the more flavor, the more aroma that they're going to release, and that's what we really need for this salad. So go ahead and finely chop up all of those wonderful herbs. For a real subtle kick in that dressing, we are going to finely chop up some shallot. It really does make a difference. If you only have a red onion, that would work, but if you have a shallot, perfect. So I like to throw the herbs, the dressing, and the beans together before we cook the steak, just so they have time to sit in all that wonderful flavor and just get as tasty and delicious as possible. So grabbing a bowl, I threw in all of those finely chopped herbs along with that finely chopped shallot, some minced garlic, good generous glug of extra virgin olive oil, some red wine vinegar, a good squeeze of lemon juice, generous amount of salt. I added in a touch of maple syrup, which wasn't actually in the recipe, but I just thought it would balance everything out. I then threw in the red pepper flakes, just combining everything well. Like I mentioned, I'm assembling the salad before I cook the steak, so things have just time to sit and marinate. So throwing in those chopped jarred roasted red peppers, the rinsed and washed chickpeas and cannellini beans. As it is right now, this recipe before adding in the steak would work beautifully as a make-ahead salad, so you can prepare the bean salad ahead of time and simply cook and add the steak when ready to serve it all. So grabbing my flat iron steak, I seasoned with some generous salt along with that Cajun rub, and yeah, just seasoned both sides. So next step was to cook the steak. So I heated a pan over a medium to high heat and I drizzled in a little touch of extra virgin olive oil. Once hot, I placed the flat iron steak into the pan and cooked it for about 3 minutes. That's my preferred time for cooking this type of steak. So yeah, I flipped it over. After turning, I added a knob of butter and just basted the steak, spooning the melted butter over the top for flavor and just for that gorgeous crust. I set the steak aside, just letting it rest for about 5 minutes. This is quite a thin piece of steak, so 5 minutes is fine. I then chopped it up, chopping it into cubes as shown in the original recipe. The last few steps of assembling this delicious recipe, we are going to throw our mozzarella in. I actually just chopped mine in half along with that steak and just combine. Simple. Give me any recipe where the herbs are like the star of the dish. I am there. I love this one. There is no way that anyone is going to take a bite of this and not enjoy it. You have to save this one in your recipe app and give it a try. You know we haven't got long left of winter once you see wild garlic in the farmer's market. It's my indicator that everything is about to change weather-wise, and I couldn't be happier. So we're going to make this wild garlic salmon creamy pasta. Of course, we're going to be using plenty of wild garlic. So I need to know where to forage my own wild garlic in London. If anyone has any tips or advice, please let me know. For the meantime, I just pick mine up from my local farmer's market. So yeah, we're going to be needing some wild garlic. I'm using some cherry tomatoes. This is a bit of a random recipe that I'm just throwing together, so I'm just working with ingredients that I have. For the creamy touch of this pasta, we are going to use some crème fraiche. We're needing some pasta of choice. I've got a pack of linguine, so that is perfect. And then for some extra protein in this pasta, we're going to use some salmon. Prawns would also work really, really well. So we're going to start off by chopping up the ingredients. So beginning with the cherry tomatoes, go ahead and give your wild garlic a good wash and then just finely chop it. There are so many things you can do with wild garlic, one of which is to just use the raw leaves and make a wild garlic pesto, which I have on my channel. I'll try and find the old video and post it. If you'd prefer the garlic intensity a little more subtle, then the way to do this is what I'm about to do, and that's to just kind of slightly cook it. You're then going to finely chop up your shallot with a little bit of garlic, because we're going to start building flavor from the beginning before we actually throw the wild garlic in. So we need a little bit of regular garlic for this too. So grab a pan, heating it on like a low to medium heat. You can go ahead and drizzle in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, throw in your chopped shallots and chopped garlic, and then just be patient, just cook everything gently for a few minutes. So once the shallots and garlic have softened, you can go ahead and throw in your chopped cherry tomatoes, season with some salt and some pepper, and just stir everything in that pan. Whilst the tomatoes are cooking, we can go ahead and prepare our salmon fillets. So super simple. I just placed over some salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, some dried parsley, along with some chili flakes, some olive oil, a little touch of tamari, and I also squeezed over lots and lots of lemon juice. You want to go ahead and cook up some pasta, so heavily salt your water and then place in your pasta, whatever pasta you're using. I placed in my linguine. So back to the pan with the cherry tomatoes. They should have cooked down beautifully. We're going to throw in all of that chopped wild garlic so we don't lose all of the flavor in the wild garlic. It's really important that you don't overcook it. I'd say it needs about a minute or so in the pan, so you can go ahead and place in your cooked pasta along with the dollop of crème fraiche, lots and lots of parmesan. I also love placing in a little touch of lemon zest too. Once everything is combined, you can go ahead and place in the cooked flaked salmon. You can give it some extra black pepper if you want. And yeah, go ahead and serve this beautiful dish up. If there's one dish that you need to make this wild garlic season, let it be this one right here. If you want to make a really simple dish but something that also has a wow factor, then this is the recipe to try. For the next recipe, we are spinning the block. I have shared this one before, but a long time ago. I made this recently and I was reminded how layered, flavor packed, just divine this recipe is that I have to share it with you again. This is my prawn and quinoa stir fry, one of my favorite one pot dishes that I have ever made. Perfectly balanced, perfectly flavored. This is my definition of feel good food. I feel like jumping out of my seat once I eat a bowl of this. It is so damn good. So for this recipe, we're going to need some king prawns. Just make sure you have some juicy king prawns. It makes all the difference. So we'll be needing some quinoa, which I like to soak at least an hour before cooking. We'll be needing some eggs. I'm throwing in vegetables like courgettes, peppers, carrots, and lots of fresh coriander. Other ingredients that we'll be working with include miso, a little bit of soy sauce, and some teriyaki. Okay, so let's jump into this. We're going to start with the quinoa. Like I mentioned, I like to put mine to soak. If I have time, if time affords for me to do that, I will do it. Just put this to soak about an hour before I started cooking the actual recipe. This recipe does involve chopping up a few vegetables, but it is so worth it. So yeah, stick with me. So starting with the courgette, I sliced it lengthways down the middle, then cut it into half and then chopped it into half moon pieces like this. For this recipe, you want vegetables that you're just going to be able to throw straight into the pan and kind of cook relatively quick. So we're sticking with vegetables like courgettes. We're also going to ribbon some carrots. This will just ensure that they cook as fast as the other vegetables. So I grabbed my carrots and I grabbed my peeler and just ribboned them. Super, super simple. I followed on by chopping up my red pepper, just simply chopped it into slices like this. In particular, when I'm making a stir fry, I will always prep the ingredients ahead of time. It makes the cooking process so much smoother, way less chaotic. We're going to finally chop up some spring onions along with some red onion too. For our aromatics, we're going to finally chop up some red chilli. I like to grate my ginger just to release all the juiciness, all of the flavour from it. And then because I have my grater out, I just ended up grating the garlic, which was a bit risky using this grater, but I made it, I did it. Washing and rinsing my soaked quinoa, I just placed it into a saucepan along with some salt, a touch of curry powder and a touch of turmeric. The curry powder just adds a little nice flavour, and then the turmeric just adds a really beautiful vibrant colour. So yeah, I threw in some clean water and just put my quinoa to cook. So grabbing a wok or a large pan, we're going to heat the pan and then throw some oil of choice in. I love using coconut oil for this recipe in particular, but you can use any oil that you want to use. Began by placing in the minced garlic and ginger, just keeping everything moving for a couple of minutes. Then threw in the fresh chilli, followed on by the red peppers and then the courgettes. You can go ahead and give it some salt and some pepper, a little splash of soy sauce. I'm using some tamari. Once the courgettes and peppers have cooked for a couple of minutes, you can go ahead and throw in the chopped red onions. So throwing in the last of the vegetables, so that includes the ribboned carrots, which I kind of like them to still have a little bite to them if possible. I love throwing my vegetables in a specific order. So yeah, we're just going to keep everything moving in that pan. So it's time to throw the prawns in. I would recommend deveining them before you throw them in to the wok. You can go ahead and season them with a little bit of salt. I threw over a little bit of garlic powder along with some chili flakes and a good squeeze of lime juice. So you'll know when the quinoa is cooked once the grain is kind of translucent. I always say it's better to just cook it on a really, really low heat. Just be patient, just be gentle with quinoa. An optional addition, which I would highly recommend, is just to throw some eggs in there also. So yes, I just whisked up a couple of eggs. I moved everything to one side and just scrambled my eggs in the pan and then just combined it with the quinoa. This is such a heavenly pot of food. You just have to try it to believe it. But once you try it, you will know exactly what I mean. So in a little bowl, we're going to combine a little bit of the teriyaki and some of this miso paste. Depending on what miso paste you're using, you might just need to thin it out a little bit. I also placed in a touch of sesame oil. I love finishing everything off with a big handful of chopped coriander. So go ahead and plate up your prawn and quinoa stir fry. When you try it, tell me if this isn't the most delicious thing that you have tried in a long time. Guarantee you are going to love this one. It's so good that it had to make a comeback to my kitchen. So there we have it, 3 balanced, beautiful one-pot dishes that you could take into your week. Let me know which recipe you want to try out first. I would love to hear from you in the comments. I will see you all very soon in my next video.